You don't know, but I'm good enough for you to sleep with. I'm good enough for you to, take out, and we do everything that married people and, in relationships do, and we're living together and we're taking trips and we're doing stuff, but you don't know, you still got your little antenna up. Well, go find what you're looking for, bro. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Closing Open Wounds with yours truly, Cleisha. I have another controversial video for you, and this is very, very close to my heart. And I don't know if you guys are going to like it this time. And I'm actually talking to the men today, but you know what? Y'all been a little chatty lately in the comments, and I love it. I don't care. Listen, let's talk about it, good, bad, or indifferent. That's what we're here for. So I have a video for you. Let's take a look.
I've been dating a young lady for coming up on a year. It's a committed situation where I'm investing everything into our relationship. And now that it's coming up on a year, I'm gonna be honest, I do feel a little pressure to say, yes, we're gonna continue, or no, it's not quite working. How do I know I'm getting the best deal? That's what I mean. That's in my mind.
No, I get
it's
it.
A deal. You know what I
mean? I know exactly what you mean.
And I'm right brain, so I'm looking at all the things that I bring, looking at things she bring. But in my mind, I'm thinking like, what are these other options I'm going to have access to, and what if I'm interested in those?
It's honest thought, and you have the FOMO, fear of missing out. This man that you're becoming, because I've watched you guys since you first started, and I've watched you grow, but I think what you have to realize is, so has she. So while you're not becoming this amazing man that you see and what you bring to the table by yourself. She is there to put that feminine creativity, that support, that love, that respect, her ability to be agreeable, her ability to challenge you, all of those things that this man that you feel like you are turning into, she plays a part in that. But I got to say, this is why a lot of women don't like being the ride or die and sticking with you until you make it to that next level. Because as much as we pour into you, it's the possibility that you go from a bronze penny to a shiny quarter and you want something else. But she was there while you were a bronze penny. She was there while you were making this transition that you've made. So why can't she benefit from that?
Listen, see, now I'm gonna be 100. If I was his girl and I heard this interview, I would be like, I'm out. If you have to second guess me, and I might be wrong, I might be emotional, I don't care, but I would leave. Like, we've been together for a year, and it seems like you got that one foot in the door, one foot out. Like, what do you want to do? And I understand some men need more time to be sure, and I get it. I already hear you guys in the comments. Oh, it takes about 2 years. I don't believe that, because this is my thing, and this is just me. This is my own opinion. This is my point of view. This is my world view. If you feel like this, where you don't know after this time that you can see your life with me, you can see us doing life together, then that means you still looking. That means you have not put in 100% into this relationship, but you the one that's looking. Meanwhile, so many times as a woman, I have put in 110%, 100%. I'm with you. I'm not looking nowhere else. And there are a lot of women that are like that. And there are a lot of men that are like that too. But this is talking about, from, the woman's standpoint on why we are tired of being the startup chick, why we are tired of being with you at the bottom. Because like I stated before, everybody doesn't have Savannah James's story, with her and LeBron, they, high school, and, they're still married, Ice Cube and Denzel Washington. There's few. Omar Epps, there's only a few, but a lot of times I'm sorry, but this is what men do. You get a woman that pours into you, and I have been there with you while you broke. You ain't have nothing. You didn't have nothing, and supported you and did everything and loved you and took your attitude because we believed in you. And you have the nerve to not be sure. You got to understand. And when you're not sure, like I just stated before, you are not giving it all you can. I don't think it's right. And I agree. I'm not. I have already come to the terms at, 43 years old that I am not being with no one and they don't have anything, or they're in the startup stage. I'm not putting in on that. I'm not investing in it because it's unsure. Listen, I don't gamble for a reason. Like I'm just not willing to place that bet that when you get your status and you feeling good with your money and everything like that, and you shine and you doing your thing, that you forget where we started. You forget that I was the one that was here for you, that I was the one that supported you, or I was here even if it's just to, you know, comfort you or be there for you. It's risky. And then y'all wonder why. Now, men, now all y'all men that was in the comments before on the other video, y'all chiming on here. How are we supposed to feel? How are we supposed to feel? And there's a lot of women that have done this and have gotten the wrong end of the stick. I'll say that. It's risky. I haven't heard, and you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, I haven't heard of many stories where the story was the opposite, where the woman didn't have anything and she made it and she left the guy. There are some stories out there, but it seems like it mostly happens, to the women, where men get to where we have already seen you to be. It's no surprise to us that you're successful and that you have made it, and you leave. Or not even that you leave, you get prideful, you get arrogant, you're hard to deal with, you're hard to talk to, you're not a safe place, you're not kind or compassionate. And a lot of times, you know, you let money and status go to your head and you forget. You forget who was thugging it out with you. So I need to know how y'all feel about this. And, I want to hear from everyone, women and men. Is it wrong that women don't want to be a part of the startup? That's what I call it, the startup. I have gotten burned from being, the ride or die chick. I have. I have been in a relationship where I have done everything I could for an individual, and they didn't even make it to anything and still got pious and still, got prideful and arrogant off of a small amount of status. And I had to walk away. We're not doing it. We're not doing that. Like, we're not doing that anymore. And for me to, feel good about myself, that is just a standard that I have adopted, that I'm not doing it anymore. And I have stated this plenty of times. If I'm going to engage or be attached to someone, you have to be on your way somewhere. Like, you don't have to be rich, you don't have to have everything, but you have to have something. You be already working on something, working towards something. So I'll come in and be the help meet, but I'm not going to be funding everything and doing everything, and you just take me for granted. I have found that, you know being a nice person and being a caring person and empathic person, we're the most easiest people to take for granted. And that's what has happened to me. And I'm sure it has happened to you as well, you know. So that's what I take from this. I totally agree with the young lady on this podcast. Yeah, we deserve it. If we're riding with you, you know, I don't know what it is with commitment. Why does everyone have commitment issues? Now, a lot of it, social media plays a part in that. And swipe right, swipe left, you know, old boo gone, new boo tomorrow. Like, it's sad that we have this we have a false options. Like, we just think you're always looking for something better. There's nothing better. It's just what you have at the moment that you work hard. Relationships are hard. People don't want to work for their relationships anymore. And most of us have been hurt and been burned by people that we love, and that's understandable. But if you are still unsure about me, I'm telling y'all, I would love to interview this young lady that is dating that guy and see how can she still be with him. And it's not like I'm like, oh, give him an ultimatum or something like that. But that's just, you don't know. But I'm good enough for you to sleep with. I'm good enough for you to, take out, and we do everything that married people and, in relationships do, and we're living together and we're taking trips and we're doing stuff, but you don't know, you still got your little antenna up. Well, go find what you're looking for, bro. Like, that's just where I'm at. I don't want anybody that's unsure about me. If you don't know how you feel about me, please move along, move around, move about the cabin. And it's okay. I think we need to be honest. I think it's selfish for us to hold somebody hostage. Oh, but I don't know. You stay right here though. And that makes a person feel, not just a woman, because it could go vice versa. But as for a woman, you holding her hostage. You might not be physically doing it, but if you're being intimate with a woman, and if you're saying, all the right things, and you're doing things, we're already in love with you. So even though you're not physically holding us hostage, the love that we have for you, and believing everything that you say, keeps us right there in the moment. So you're holding on to her, and you're looking around still with your little antenna, trying to see if you can find better. That's selfish. You selfish. And I don't respect it. If you're unsure, I'd rather you just break things off with me and go find your happiness. And let's just say, look, listen, we can separate. You can go see, if I'm available, and whatever. But it keeps that woman feeling like she got to work for your love. Do you see me? Do you see all that I'm doing for you? That's tough. Like that, to me, that is such, oh my God, a difficult place to be in. That is tough. And I understand that feeling so well. Whereas, like, you want to be invested with the man that you love, but at the same time, you want to self preservation. Like, you want to preserve yourself because you don't know how this thing is going to turn. Meanwhile, you're fully invested. You telling your family, you planning a wedding, you already know what kind of wedding dress you want to wear. You know what venue you want to go to. You already got it mapped out. And the more crazy thing about it, the bigger audacity about it, is that you two have talked about marriage. You've talked to this woman about marriage. You've talked about having a kid. You've given her an inkling of hope that someday you're going to make it official. This is also why a lot of commentators and a lot of people like Dr. Umar and different people are giving people 2-year limit. No, we're not doing it. I will love you and leave you. Listen, my cousin gave me that name long, long time ago. Love them and leave them. And it's not something that I want to do. It's not something that I set up to do. But if you're unsure about me, and this is all this time is passing by, and I'm just was year after year after year after year, and you don't make up your mind as to where we're going, what we're doing, or even if we're already married. I have been married and have advocated for myself, or I have brought some things to the attention of my husband, and I'm ignored, or you taking me for granted because I'm nice, you know. And then when I get a little firm, hey, all right, even me being called love him and leave him, I be like, listen, I'm telling you. In my last video, I talked about setting clear boundaries. I'm like, I need this, or I need you to stop doing this because you're going to make me feel some type of way. And then I'm going to close up. And then I don't know what happens. And I'm telling you this, my feelings are like a light switch. I don't know why. Like I could, you know, the more, and like the more you pound on somebody, they're going to protect themselves. We can love you and protect ourselves from you. The hardest thing to do is to walk away from someone you are absolutely, totally in love with. That is one of the most hardest things to do, to fight with yourself as to, do I stay or do I go? Do I invest or do I cut my losses? What do you do? So you tell me, y'all tell me in the comments, what do we do in a situation like this? Because it's risky. Do I take the risk? You know, we got a lot of that going on. Let's go with the flow. Let's see how it go. How long do we go with the flow? How long does the young lady stay with this guy until he figures it out, what he wants to do? Because we're never satiated. Nothing's ever enough. We're always looking for the next instead of being in the moment. And I'll bet you that woman sounds like, of course, I don't know her, but she sounds like she's a wonderful young lady. And there's a lot of us are like that. And we're sticking by you and we're going through the ups and downs, the thick and thin, and, the high income, the low income, we riding with you. I don't know. Dr. Umar said 2 years. You got 2 years. If not, what are we doing? Because what's she supposed to do? Be his long term girlfriend? No, no. People want stability. People still want marriage. People still want that one person that will be there for them. People still want, kids and everything done, especially if you're a Christian. You want to do things right. You want to be right in the sight of God. It's impossible. It's impossible because it seems like everybody is just looking for the next best thing. So they think. You think it's the best. But if two people get together and they both want it, anything can happen. Anything can happen. My ex-husband used to always say, "Oh yeah, this marriage thing is easy." And I'm like, "Yeah, cuz you ain't doing no work." And I told him that in counseling. I said, "I feel like I'm over here building a house, from the ground up, and you over here on a lawn chair with a glass of lemonade. You're not laying no bricks with me, bro. So yeah, it's easy for you." But when both people get together and they have the same goal and the same drive and they love each other, your relationship can work, but it will not work if only one person is putting in, if only one person is invested, if only one person is committed. Love is still out there. Why do I believe love is still out there? Because I'm out here. That's why I believe in love. That's why, because I know it's a me out there for me. And I won't let go of that. I won't believe that this is all we have resulted to. This is it. This everybody's doing this. It's hard out here if you got a good heart. This is what we're subjected to. But I'm done ranting. Y'all tell me how you feel. I want to hear you men talk. Like I said, y'all been talking and I love it. But what should a woman do? And I'm not talking about, see, a lot of y'all are commenting on the wrong type of woman, the wrong type of man, the unhealed, the traumatized person, daddy issues, mommy issues, no self love, no self worth, narcissistic, gaslighting person. We're not talking about an unhealed person. I want you to imagine in your mind the most loving person that is a giver, that reciprocates, that is consistent, that is loving, kind, you know, has a beautiful attitude, has it going on in their life, in their professional life, whatever they're doing, has a heart of gold. That is the type of person that I'm talking about. How long should that person stay with this guy? Not the woman that traumatized you and cheated on you. Not the man that was out here slinging and doing all whatever he was doing, tipping and dipping. We're not talking about those people. And a lot of times when I'm asking questions, a lot of you are talking about unhealed people. And there's both on both sides, men and women. It's a mess out here. Again, how long Should a decent person stay with this type of man? I love you guys. Let me hear you in the comments. Bye.